Hey, mamas, and welcome back to the Modern Moms Club podcast. I am so excited because today I have a very special guest with me, Natalia Kern. Natalia and I met actually through our husbands, and I feel like we just hit it off. We totally clicked, and my gosh, she has a wealth of knowledge and information, and I just knew after talking with her that I had to bring her on the podcast and have her share with you all this information. So Natalia, she does coaching with women entrepreneurs who want to build and scale their businesses. We're going to dive so much deeper into this today. But Natalia, thank you so much for being here with me and all of the moms today.
Thank you so much for having me here. I'm really happy to just chat with you, and I really liked your personality straight away. But most importantly, your message, because it's so necessary, it's so needed out there. You know, we really need to share more information for all the women and moms about women and moms and all the stuff that is not usually shared. You know, we share something that we achieve, but rarely what comes with it behind the scenes, you know.
Exactly.
It's not easy to be a mom to begin with, especially a mom who wants to be more than a mom and wants to be connected with herself and with her life partner, whether it's her husband or her boyfriend, and she just wants to be more than just a mom. And it's such a challenge in the beginning, especially for new moms. I remember the days when I had my son, it was so difficult. I'm so happy to have this. And, you know, women can use this and hopefully help.
Yes. And you, I just felt like when we connected and, you know, we were talking, you had so much amazing information. And I just wanted to bring that to the moms because I think exactly what you do day to day and what you do, you know, in your own business, but on top of running the family and supporting your husband, I mean, you do it so flawlessly. And I think it's just so amazing, you know, how you're helping these women. So I would love to dive in. And if you could tell the women a little bit about your business and how specifically you help women.
Sure. Thank you so much. I really take it as a big compliment because it's not seamless at all. But if it's like that, I'm doing a good job. I love working with women because I resonate with them, especially with moms, especially with business owners. I always had an ambition to be financially independent and stable and create that security, not just for myself, but for my family. And it always been something that I wanted to have in my life, and not just a job. I wanted to build something that I can leave behind, you know, if not for my children, but for people to use and hopefully, you know, help others through that. So I love working with business entrepreneurs, and I've been working in coaching business for a long time. I come from the health and fitness industry. I've been coaching for over 10 years. And what I've noticed, women who I coach, they struggle with committing to that journey for a long time and adapting it as a lifestyle. So they would prepare for a wedding or for some important event, or, you know, because they got through divorce and they want to prove themselves something. So it would be something very important, like the milestone that they were overcoming. They wanted to celebrate with a new body or healthy diet. But very rarely women would adapt it as a lifestyle. And I started, you know, digging deep and really wanted to help them to remove those mental blocks that were telling them that they cannot sustain that lifestyle. And granted, you know, there are a lot of nutrition hacks out there that kind of mislead people, you know, because it's really unsustainable as a lifestyle. But I wanted to help them to overcome those mental blocks in order for them to just lead the lifestyle like that, and not just for 12 weeks, let's say, you know, because it's one thing to succeed at your goals, and another is to continue succeeding and maintaining that success in anything. Relationship and your parenting and your health and your business, the same fundamentals apply to everything. That's why I was fascinated with that, and I wanted to frame it in a program that would help women with every key element in their life that is important to them, and I call them quadrants of happiness. So it all starts with you, right? So everything that we are, if we really think about it and trace back to how we all started as humanity, we all seek connections. We all want to be connected to the world. And whether it's through your talent or through your message or through connections that we build with our partners and friends, children. We all want to be connected. And the more nourished that connection is, the happier we are. We feel more fulfilled. We feel like we realize, right? As parents, moms, as wives, as business owners. So we like that. And all those connections really lead to, I summarized it in 4 different quadrants, and it's your health and your physical body and your mental state and how you feel about yourself and the world around you, your environment, then your relationship with your life partner, and how you fulfill yourself and realize yourself as a wife or as a girlfriend. And then, of course, it's your social connections. We need those so badly. And a lot of times when we become wives and moms, we kind of disconnect from the social circles and our girls. And that tribe is so important because when everything goes to crap, they are there.
Exactly.
Important to nourish those connections, continue doing it. Whether you change your circle of friends or remain friends with some of the girls forever, it doesn't matter. But it's important to have those connections. And it's not just the girls, but also, you know, business partners, your clients, everybody that is not your life partner and kids. Because can you imagine if you have only your husband and your son? It's going to be such a heavy burden for them.
Right, exactly. Exactly.
You know, it's hard to talk to your husband about certain things. That girl will just eat it up.
And it's so funny that you say that, because I feel like with my husband, you know, he wants to talk like business, or he wants to talk about, you know, like things that are like, for him, it's like moving the ball forward. And women are so emotional. We want to talk about the emotion of things and like dive deep into those details, and they want to solve a problem. We're like, but just listen.
I just want to vent, and that's how I resolve my issue. And as girls, we like to talk about 100 times, and it's poof, gone.
Exactly.
You share with your husband, like, okay, this is what we do. Like, no, don't fix it yet. Let me talk about it.
Exactly.
Yes, definitely. And the same with kids. You know, a lot of times we are all in our children, and next thing you know, it's 10 years later, and you completely forgot who you are. You know, and it's so easy to do. And I've been working with women who are dealing with their kids leaving home, and all they did is carpool, breakfast, lunches, extracurricular activities with their children. They've been such devoted moms, and I'm so proud of them, but they didn't make space for themselves doing that. So now they struggle with the empty nest syndrome, you know. Often what happens, they disconnect from their partners. So because, you know, the major topic of the conversations were the kids.
That was a connecting point.
Yes, and it's fun. And I'm, as a mom, I adore that topic. But we make a point with my husband when we go out on a date, which is also a point.
Yes.
Where we go at least once a week as grown-ups.
Yes,
looking like
dressed up. Exactly. Yeah.
And have the time, because it's so easy to disconnect and dive into the routine and forget who you are.
Definitely.
So when we work with my girls, we there are 2 main parts they need help with. They seek balance. They feel overwhelmed. And that stress seems like it doesn't stop coming into them. And others, they just want to maximize their potential. They know what they want. They want to either grow and scale their business, and they want to do it without sacrificing other things. So they just basically need a better strategy that efficiently will bring them to the next level.
Great. So in working with these women, the women that feel overwhelmed and the women that want to maximize their potential and like get those strategies. So these women must be coming to you from all different points in their life. Like it could be a woman that's maybe starting her business and she's a new mom, or it could be, like you said, a mom who's maybe going through empty nest syndrome and trying to start her business. So how do you know, like where do you start these women when they come to you? Like for your coaching, what areas do you start the help with them? Like at what point?
It all starts with them. So no matter what their goals are, no matter what is the objective down the road with them, we aiming at, it all has to start with them, because all the imbalances are coming from us. our environment, our world around us is the reflection of our state of mind, how we feel about things around us. It's our perception, right?
Right.
What I help them to do is just basically recognize who they are, identify, because a lot of women are lost. They haven't thought about that. And it's scary sometimes. They just haven't even considered to take care of themselves.
Yeah.
And it's really easy to see the breakthroughs and how they just transform. What I'm looking for in my women I'm coaching to make sure that I can help them is that they are willing to take accountability for
That's
everything.
huge. That's so huge.
Yeah, because we all can be victims, but it's a decision.
Right.
And for me, the big parts where what I'm paying attention to is for them to take accountability and willing to take charge for everything that happens in their life. And it helps to look at the situation much in a more positive way, and just basically shift their perception. And once we are taking care of her and make sure that she feels good and everything else is on point, it can be very basic, it can be more complex. And also I'm looking for things that are not requiring therapy, because I'm not a therapist. I'm not a clinical therapist or psychologist. I'm passionate about psychology, but it's something that helps me build my work, but I don't have a degree in that. So I want to make sure that it's something that can be dealt with strategy and just all the formulas that I'm teaching them, but doesn't require clinical therapy.
Right.
And I'm looking for a woman who wants to take charge and is not afraid to have it all. And when we're talking about that, it can be a controversial topic. Sometimes
yeah.
Trigger people. But what I mean by that is just really act and operate from the place of gratitude.
Oh, I love that.
And understand that a lot of times we already have it all. Just think we need more. And the question is like, why? Why do you think you need more? And why don't you have it or not making it happen?
Right.
So that's what we're working on. So we realize what are the obstacles, and we're meeting in groups 3 times a year. So we're really working in person. And my big desire was to not just work with them and help them go through that process, but create a community of like-minded women.
Oh, that's so amazing. Yeah, you need that tribe.
Yeah, we need support. And when we have that group of women who are not needing your explanation of why you're going for what you're going, they just, you want it, that's your rightful way of doing it. This is your right. You need to explain or defend your dreams or apologize for your success. That's what you want. I have women who don't have kids. They don't, not because they can, but because they don't want to.
Exactly.
And I respect that decision, because it takes guts to actually vocalize.
For sure. For sure. Especially from parents, grandparents, like the whole, to be able to know that that's what you want, it's huge. And to be able to say, listen, I don't want this, and like stand your ground.
Right. And maybe this is just the face for her, but she is certain today, or maybe she will change her mind. However, it's her decision, and my job is to support her in her decisions. Yeah. Go for it. I think all women should be more open-minded, and a lot of our beliefs are very self-limiting. So I think it's time to drop the self-limiting beliefs and look at other women as, they're independent in their own views, and give them freedom to express those opinions without judging.
Definitely.
Because it's one of the biggest struggles women are going through, is the judgment and fear of judgment. Nobody wants to be rejected. And we all want to belong to something good, and especially our families, right? So once we start vocalizing our opinions, especially if they disagree with others, it can be a struggle. That's why we sacrifice ourselves and our dreams for something that makes other people more comfortable.
Yeah, it's so true. And I think, as women, we do, we wear a lot of hats, and we go from the work hat to the mom hat to the wife hat to, I always, when I do my interviews, I hate to use the word balance, because I feel like it's a joke. Like balance, like you can't balance, like you can only balance so much until you fall, right? So it's like, I think a good way of explaining that is like, you just wear those different hats at different times. It's not like, you're doing it all at the same time all day long. You transition from mom to wife and you could be going in and out of each hat multiple times a day, So what are some of your mom hacks for doing and having it all? Because I love how you say, these women have self-limiting beliefs, and maybe maybe we're our own worst enemies. Like, we're the reason why, like, we're telling ourselves over and over again, like, why we can't do this or have this. So what are some of the hacks or tricks that you found for doing and having it all?
Well, first of all, balance, like what you were saying, is really hard. It's almost like, spinning plates.
Yes.
And if we'll pay attention to one of these spinning plates, it drops and breaks, right?
Mm-hmm.
So our job is to really look at everything as the big picture and understand nothing can be perfect all at the same time. And balance is something fluid. It's not a fixed state. Oh, I achieved balance, now I'm going to be good.
Right.
Not like that in real life. We have things, and our babies get sick right before an important appointment, or something. It's ongoing. For the longest time, when I was a new mom, I expected everything to align for me to start finally working again. And quite soon, I realized it's never going to happen. I need to change my perception. I need to adapt fast.
Yes, adapt. That is like the perfect word for that. Exactly.
We as women are very flexible. We are easier to adapt to situations than men, and that's kind of in our DNA, how we are preconditioned, right?
Yes.
We gatherers, we the ones who keep the fire in our cave, make sure that everything is cozy and nice, and that's kind of our nurturing nature. And that's why a lot of times, because of that, we sacrifice ourselves. But what we need to realize is balance is a fluid state. And once we adapt, it's important to just see how we are feeling and run everything through our heart muscle and make sure those are not sacrifices, but compromises. We all can, it's a give and take thing. So today, and when something happens, I always look at the situation. Okay, so what is my objective here? And how can I realize that without losing my sanity and my balance?
Yeah.
Because it's all about how you feel. Sometimes we go through very intense situations in life, very heavy circumstances, yet we are managing it really well. And sometimes small things can really make us fall apart. And that comes from us not being prepared. So once we realize that planets are not going to be aligning all the time for us just because we're awesome and we devoted and we're smart, we actually need to do something about it. We need to take action. And whenever we fall, we need to learn how to recover fast and not just sit and cry. And it's okay to feel that emotion, by the way. The more we suppress those emotions that were given to us for a reason, the worse the meltdown will be down the road. It's coming out. Exactly. Well, so feel the emotion, move on, and understand that, just take one day at a time and stop judging yourself, first of all, because we are we're such heavy on criticizing ourselves. That's why we're terrified of judgment from others, because we already do a great job at it. So having an additional judgment is terrifying, right?
Oh my gosh,
So when we look at the big picture, like those spinning plates, several of them, right? And understand that we need to make sure that our engine is charged. So whenever you feel like you are snappy or lose your patience or you just distracted and can't, concentrate, ask yourself, have you eaten today, or you are hydrated, or you have enough sleep? And as a new mom, it's an iron. It's a for 8 years.
Exactly. You're like, check.
Yes. So when sleep is something that is not in your cards today, you have to make sure that you're on point with your nutrition, because some women cannot work out right away after having babies.
That's right.
What you need to do is make sure that your nutrition is on point, that your hydration is on point, and you don't add any other stress, just beating yourself up. Wow, I don't have my body back. You're going to have a new body. The old
Yeah.
body is gone.
Right.
You can do a miracle. Just stop beating yourself up because it's not healthy and it's not going to help you to create a new body.
Right.
What you need to do is show yourself how miracle happens through building a new thing, and a strong body. And it also changes the goals of why you're having that. And it's for endurance because you'll need it.
Right.
It's for an outlet. It's just like therapeutic for me personally. I
Yep.
have to have. Otherwise, I have this unused frustration.
Yeah, no, I'm with you. Exactly. I am so with you.
Right. Then I think any woman can relate to that. I don't care how much we love our children, our husbands. It's hard to constantly deal with the different personalities and challenges that come with that. And it's totally human and totally normal. But our job is to anticipate things and prepare for them.
And I think we as women like do such an amazing job at that. Like we are emotional creatures, so we can pick up on those emotions from our kids or our husbands or the people around us. We can sense it more than more than a man would, because I feel like we're just in a higher tune or frequency with that.
Yes, and because of how we are designed, we're also very sensitive to any stress. And we're very sensitive because we are sensitive to risk. We are protecting our babies, our cubs. So we're super sensitive to the external sources of stress or anything that throws us off balance, because we want to make sure we are safe and our cubs are safe.
Exactly.
So that's why a lot of women become neurotic because we're super stressed. So for that, as we know, like, well, this is one of the options. Do I want to be? Let's take care of ourselves from early on. We need to take care of ourselves. We need to continue doing what made us happy before, and usually it's something small, And for me, just having a cup of coffee in silence and still hot,
Yes. Oh my gosh.
The temperature of your coffee is never hot.
My husband will come home at like 7 o'clock at night and he's like, what's this coffee mug still doing in the microwave? I'm like, oh my God, I totally forgot about that from like 8 o'clock this morning that I've already reheated like 3 times.
Yes, exactly. I can relate to that. So just have always done, or just your nails done.
Yeah.
And something small that still brings you joy and makes you feel like a girl.
I love that. Yeah, it's so important.
Feeling like a girl and feeling sexy helps us to connect with our husbands, because when we are covered and, when we're in the diaper trenches, when we are to little ones and they, covered in them, basically,
exactly.
It's really hard to feel sexy because our maternal instinct is so strong that husbands feel like they're neglected. And it's a very, very tricky dance to balance. And what we need to do as women, in my opinion, is just give ourselves a break and communicate. Not when we can't take it anymore and we burst in tears, but communicate what goes through us right now and how we're feeling about it. And do small things like diet and walk. A lot of things we can do, meditate, breathing exercises. Yeah. Those things are very basic, and I would say a lot of people just basically overuse those words, that it's annoying at the moment, but it's very useful. So what I started doing after I had my children, I would meditate, because you can do it even holding a baby and nursing a baby.
Which is a great time to do it, because it's a quiet moment and it's you connecting with your baby, and it's a time where you can really just focus in on like connecting with yourself and your body.
Exactly. And go for walks as much as I can, and choose sleep over anything else.
Yes.
Have a nap. That's going to be my opportunity.
I am so with you on that.
Because a lot of times girls go and work out and they feel good, but then they're so spent and the baby gets sick and doesn't sleep for 3 nights in a row. done, you know?
Yeah.
And when kids are getting older, it's important to reconnect with people who made you happy and
Mhm.
create that environment where you can share your struggles
Yes.
and ambitions. And it's okay to have new friends who have little kids, so you can just really talk to them about it and
Right.
not just to your husband or older friends, you know?
Yes.
Uh, it's important to know more, you know, than what you read into your baby and songs you're listening to, you know, because
Exactly. Like the same 10 nursery
crazy.
rhymes or books over and over again.
Yes, we're listening to My Little Pony album now.
Oh boy.
Over and over again.
Yes, I know what that's like. We have a little blue truck book that's like, I can say it in my sleep. I know the words to the entire book because we read it so much.
Yeah, so I think the biggest thing that a woman can do for herself is just stop beating herself up
Hmm.
and create that space where she feels like a girl, whether it's taking a bath, listening to music, meditating, and just writing a journal. It
Yeah.
is helpful. And just remember, this is just one of those hats we're wearing. It's not
Right.
you. It's one of the things that you have in life. And it's one
Yes.
of the things and one of the great superpowers you possess as a woman. But it's not all of you. And
Right.
it's not
Right.
forever. And I've noticed because when we got married with Frank, we already have 2 children.
Hmm.
He had 2 daughters, 8 and 6 at that time. And we never really had a dating period, you know, when we
Okay.
were just adults, you know. So
Right.
from the very beginning, we established this boundary around our relationship and promised each other to connect, especially when it's hard, and make
Yeah.
sure that we have dates and make sure that we have trips, just 2 of us. And it's
Yes.
extremely hard for a mom, extremely hard, much harder than for guys. And
Yeah.
that's just because we designed, and that's totally
Right.
fine. But what it does in the long run is you never lose connection with your lover, with your
Yes.
husband.
Oh my God. I like have the children now because I feel like that's so important. I feel like we can so easily get lost being in mom mode and doing dishes and doing laundry and just being in the day to day, like you said, the load or the mountain of diapers and spit up and all the things that go along with that, and when your husband comes home at the end of the day, you're probably tired because you've worked, you've watched the baby, all these things. And then your husband comes home and you're like, okay, maybe your dinner is ready or maybe it's not, and you're kind of just so tired. You need that time to reconnect with them together, like for the relationship, for what the first thing was before the babies came along.
Yes, and I think a lot of women are obsessed about, well, I have this OCD about cleaning house, making sure everything is on point, but there'll be never a man who will choose clean dishes over snuggling with you. And just
Right.
really, there's no such thing. So just choose snuggling with your husband over clean dishes whenever there's,
Yes.
you
I
know,
love that.
read a book to your child instead of folding laundry, because that will happen eventually. You'll do it.
Right.
Some women are able to hire help and some women are doing it all alone, and a
Yes.
lot of times some of the women I'm coaching, they refuse to accept help, and that's one of the big obstacles. They just
Yeah.
think that they need to do everything alone, otherwise they feel like they're failing, because they alpha females and they feel like, wow, I've been so good in school and academics and track and
Right.
field and everything that I achieved, and now I'm falling apart washing dishes and taking care of a toddler. And because the village raises a child, usually it's
Exactly.
centuries ago, like it was always family helping you. Right now we're so independent that we are carrying it all alone.
Uh-huh.
So it's normal to hire. Be a CEO of your house. You
Right.
are the queen. And if you are able to accept help from somebody, do
Mm-hmm.
so. If somebody offers you help, a neighbor, a girlfriend, take it.
Exactly. Exactly. I mean,
Yes, and return the favor.
I can't agree with that anymore. I mean, for us in our home, like, my husband, he works so hard and he's out, traveling and or in office, long hours, long nights, weekends, holidays, exactly how it is. And for him, he likes a clean space, but we've agreed, like, we have help. And I know it's such a taboo or like controversial topic, but like, I don't think it should be. Like, I think it's exactly what you said. It's so important to have that bonding time with your kids or your husband versus being in the kitchen, like, taking your aggression out on the dishes or whatever it is, because
or people who made them dirty.
yeah. So I totally agree. It needs to be, putting your time, which is so, so valuable, into the people that it's really meant to be with for those relationships. So I couldn't agree more.
Yes, exactly. And I think a lot of negative stigma comes from inability to either hire somebody or not having that support system, and just the way it was perceived a long time ago. I mean, we are a different generation of women today, and
totally.
I hire assistants and I hire people who clean my house because I work, like, I make the money to hire them for it.
Right.
And when I didn't work, my husband, it was our non-negotiable. He begged me to hire a nanny, which was extremely hard for me. I didn't let anybody touch my son for quite a while. Just because I didn't know how do you do this? How do you separate? And even for an hour, it was extremely hard. Yeah, you know how it is.
Yeah, totally.
I didn't touch him.
Exactly. But you know what? I did find that whether it was help from my mother-in-law or my own mom or bringing someone in for help, I became so much better of a mom and a wife once I accepted the help, because I could have that time where I was like, look, if I'm going to take a nap because I didn't sleep all night, someone's there to still take care of my baby, and I know he's going to be okay. And it's kind of changing the way that you think in order to get to that point. But it was so valuable because it really changed the whole dynamic of how our house was run, how things got done, the time I spend now with my husband. So it actually gave me the ability to create time versus being this frantic mom who like had all these things piled up and a laundry list of things to do. Now, very, very intentional time with my family.
Exactly. And for me, it was being able to stay present with my stepdaughters, because I had these two little girls who went with me through the pregnancy, and I was all theirs. My attention was undivided, and all of a sudden they have a little brother, and they were confused for a moment. What do you mean you're cooking for us?
Right.
Yeah, I was already attending to a newborn. So on top of that, if I would go into cleaning the houses instead of braiding my girl's hair, or just reading books instead of folding laundry, And I like doing those things too when I have time, because it is therapeutic to me.
Yeah.
But connections with people who love you, who look up to you, way more important than clean house than folding laundry, for sure.
I agree 1,000%. Now, what about for the moms that maybe they don't have the help or they're just not ready for that yet? So what are maybe some productivity like tips that you can give the moms to get things done with their little ones while they're at home with them?
So when it comes to running the house or doing business, what I do usually myself and with my clients, we make a list. And as women, we're so good at making lists, right?
Yes.
It's either for a guy you want to meet, right? Make a list, right? So when we make the list, I then go and prioritize. What are the top 3 things I must accomplish today? What are those important things on the list? And once we prioritize, usually we rearrange that list. And then I go to that list again and detox it. What I don't have today. So I remove everything that can be delegated or can be done the next time, maybe it's another day or another week, because a lot of times we create those lists just to see how busy we are and to feel significant. A lot of times we feel, wow, I'm so busy, I must be back on the horse. Right. Not really. You're just spinning right now and ready to spin. You're about to break. So don't do that. And really prioritize. And hey, when sometimes we have to push through the brick walls and we have to achieve the impossible. I get it. But I'm talking about the day-to-day routine, where you have to do what you have to do in order to move forward. But in the very beginning, if you have an opportunity to connect with your baby and just be a mom and figure out how you feel about it and not worry about your body at the moment and about what you do for business. Just connect with your child, because you will never get that moment back, ever.
Yeah, that's true.
And we carry babies for 40 weeks or so, and we want to snap back to where we were before that right away, and it's just unrealistic. And some women do, and it's annoying, and some women don't, and it takes them years. I think we are all unique, and respect yourself for what you've done, and celebrate yourself. You're a mom now. Amazing.
I love that
journey, and just really enjoy the moment until they become teenagers.
Exactly.
Every day, because this is what you are sowing. All the seeds that you're planting, everything that you're doing right now will help you through the time when they are transforming into women and men. And what you are doing right now, the quality of your connections, leading by example, create the environment with your husband for them to see and feel, and grow up in a very loving and balanced environment. It's really important, so all those things, they won't remember dishes, they won't remember a lot of things. What they will remember is the memories that you are creating together. So I think, remember that it's a long journey, and all the worries, because as moms, we really get to know fear, right? We're worried now because we worried about our children.
You see it in a whole different light. Like when I became a mom, I remember coming home from the hospital and being like, oh my gosh, like I was afraid to put my baby in the car. I was afraid to go to the mall with him. I mean, everything. I was all of a sudden, and of course it's the hormones, because when you first come home, your hormones are just like all over the place after you've had your baby. But you just look at the world in such a different way, because now, exactly what you said, you're this protective mama bear, and you have these little cubs to protect, and you're like, no one's touching my baby, no one's getting near them, no one's hurting them, no one's like, it's just, you look at it so differently.
Yes, and that's why, obviously we're human, and the way we're feeling, it's different, and it's important to stay connected with your life partner you had children with.
Yes.
And some women don't have that, so what they need to do is just really connect with the baby and herself, and know what makes her and makes her heart tick, and really connect with her life purpose. And it's not in her baby. Her mom's purpose is to make that baby strong and healthy and independent, self-sufficient, so the baby is independent and free and not die, just survive in the wilderness later on, right?
Yeah, exactly.
So that we prepare our cubs to be independent from the very beginning.
Right.
And that's our job. But really, it's not just a mom. And we find a lot of joy and fulfillment in that beautiful role. But really, it's not just the only role that we have. And it's important to remember that the more we are happy inside, the more we connected with ourselves, the better moms we are, the better wives, life partners we are, the better friends we are, and the better we are to ourselves, because we accept ourselves for who we are. We love ourselves unconditionally, not selfishly, but unconditionally. Yeah, I have stretch marks, or I don't look like it's my body. I remember looking at my body, I was like, I'm wearing a suit. This is something that's just not my body. And I had serious body image issues in the very beginning. So I thought that I had to go back to where I was. And I had 6-pack in 7.5 weeks.
Wow.
And I got so much hate.
Oh my gosh.
You have no idea. It was so hard. I was so stressed. And now they hate me for it. But at the same time, you need to remember that you're doing everything for yourself. And for me, it was really important to go back where I was. Not realizing that you're in a way better place right now. You don't need to go back anywhere. You are so much ahead already.
Yes.
There's no body back. This is a new body that you are creating, not something that is given to you by your parents and you just take advantage of your, reserves.
Yes, that's such a great way to put it.
But really right now, like you are molding yourself as a human, as a person, as a physical body. Now you are totally in charge. So do it
Mm-hmm.
love from the place of love and not fear that somebody won't like you. You're already there and your life partner is by your side, you
Yes.
know? And
Yes.
the good,
No, it's
everybody has it. I acknowledge that. And I really am proud of women who are pulling it together and off by themselves. You
mm-hmm.
know, I know a lot of single moms who are doing it from the get-go. I've been raised by one for
Yeah,
some time. So I really respect all those women who are doing that. We
for
actually hired
sure.
for that reason.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. It's amazing. I mean, I talk to so many moms and I'm like, we are like superheroes. Like we're super women. I mean, to be able to do what we do, and especially for the women that may not have, the partner there by their side, or you may not have family that's close by, for the support. It's amazing how resilient we are, how we figure things out. It's really just like, and like exactly what you said before, like we don't have those tribes anymore. We don't have these like big tribes where it's like the family and the cousins and the siblings where everyone's helping everyone. It's like every woman for herself, So I
Yeah.
really acknowledge the women that are doing that on their own and are working and doing, mom life. But I also love what you said about making the list and, being grateful and having that gratitude, because all of that, I feel like at the end of the day makes things so much more bearable, more happy, more. And I actually listened to an interview that you did, and I want you to elaborate on it a little bit more, where you said, I get to do this. It's not something that I have to do. It's something that I get to do.
Yes, a lot of times it's just the language that we're using. You know, oh, I have to do this. Oh, I have this in my life. I must go there. And you really don't have to do anything you don't want. When with my son in kindergarten, I realized that school life adds so much more on your schedule if you're not
Mm-hmm.
careful, because they want you to volunteer, they want you to donate, they want you to participate. And like, wait a minute, does
Yeah,
anybody what's happening here?
exactly.
So after one of my friends, she's a mom in the same school, and she said, this is what I do. And in the beginning of every month, I print out all the schedules. Otherwise, I forget and I can miss things. And like, do you have to attend to every single thing that you're invited to? Well, I feel like it's important for my child and how they treat my child. And well, there's something wrong if they treat your child wrong if you're not attending to some things.
Yeah.
And I think, well, okay, so some things are very important. I get it, and I'm there for those. But other ones are optional. So the list helps. And whenever I feel like I'm very tired or I'm burning a candle on both ends, and I
Mm-hmm.
have those days, I always remember that I get to do it. I am very aware of where I'm coming from and how I was raised and all the challenges I had to overcome in the past. So what I am dealing with right now in the tough moments is something that comes with the life that I've created. It's part of it. It's never just ideal. Like we have those moments, but they're just moments, like triumphs.
Right. Mm-hmm.
It's always challenging to get to that point of triumph, and it takes you down, not because you lose ability to be successful, but because you need to replenish your energy, because you need to reassess and recharge your batteries, and you need to go to something new, a new adventure. So it's constantly going like this, but
Yes.
I think it's not just like a zigzag. I think we are falling and bouncing back.
Yeah.
Bouncing back a lot of times.
Right. Oh my God, that's such a great way of putting it.
So I think if we'll start to anticipate that bounce,
Sure.
we need to get with all the gusts of bounce, the higher we can.
Yeah, that's so true.
Because it will happen inevitably, just how life is.
The flow of life, yeah.
Yeah, but I think we can actually predict a lot of things.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of things are beyond our control. I get it. But a lot of things can be anticipated and prepared for.
Yes.
And when I'm preparing for those things, I have to be strong, I have to be disciplined about it. And I train my endurance basically. But whenever it's tough, I really remember that I get to do it. I don't have to do it.
Yeah.
There are a lot of biological mothers that are not good mothers. And there are a lot of mothers who became mothers not giving birth. They're great role models. and they're really good to other children. I believe that when we become mothers, we activate that maternal instinct, and there are no other people's children anymore. You just want to hug them all.
Right.
You want to feed them all, right? You want to share love with all of them.
Exactly.
And I think that's our role as women. We're somebody else's role models without even knowing it sometimes.
Yeah.
So we get to do it, and we need to show up for ourselves. And I think it's the most important thing. We get to show up for ourselves.
I love that.
If we are, operating from the place of love for ourselves with full acceptance of who we are and also who we are becoming, it's very important. Who you want to be. We're always evolving, and that's when we feel happy, even if it's strong, right? So it's very important to remember who we are becoming and respect the process that takes us from here to there, whether it's your body, health, your relationship, your marriage, your parenting, anything, right?
Exactly.
We need to respect the process, and having that choice already is something that has to come with gratitude.
Yes.
I get to respect the process. I get to see that it is the process. That means you're not in the survival mode anymore.
Right, right. And exactly what you said from the beginning, it's taking that acceptance and taking that accountability and being in control of whatever the situation is. There may have been a situation that was caused to you, but knowing you are in control of whatever that outcome is, whatever the next move is, I think that it's so huge.
And also self-forgiveness is something that is just a trifecta: self-love, self-acceptance, and self-forgiveness.
Yeah.
We mess up, but instead of defending our mistake, instead of burying it somewhere, and distracting ourselves from something that we failed at, we need to just forgive ourselves for that and really analyze that. Okay, what could I do better? Just like a game, sports game,
Yeah.
They don't try to cover it up with anything. It's just, well, we made it, we lost, okay?
Right.
How and why? Let's watch the video and have those videos, in life. So
send me the replay.
Yeah, we need to be honest with ourselves, right? And that's our
Totally.
video that we can play back. And I really couldn't do any better. So let's try to prepare better.
Yes.
Or because I couldn't do any better, I forgive myself and try better again,
Exactly.
So I think
exactly.
that's very important. And just be aware of what you're doing on a daily basis, because once you pay attention, once you bring the most important things into your frontal, lobe and really be conscious about it, you are able to see things changing and feel it,
Yes.
And the goal that you're setting for yourself, just run through your heart muscle. How do I feel about it? Because strategy is one thing, can bring anything from point A to point B, right?
Right.
More success or less success, but how you feel through that process, that is very important for you. And that's really the journey of life. We can't just like, oh, we were born, we are dying,
right.
Worthwhile.
Exactly. No, oh my gosh, you have given us so much information today. I mean, literally, I feel like I've been taking notes this whole time. So I just think that this is a wealth of knowledge and information. And I would love for you to also share with the women any upcoming products or programs that you have where they can connect with you more and get some more information on your coaching.
Thank you. I have just one program coming up. I'm starting the enrollment for it tomorrow, actually, on my birthday. I decided to start by serving. I really enjoy my work so much. They go, okay, for my birthday gift, I want to be left alone and work.
Well, happy early birthday.
Thank you. So I'm starting this workshop, and I've been preparing for this for a while because other business coaching and branding, and I love that part too, but I really like working with girls. I really like working with tribe. So now we're enrolling new women, and we start our workshops. It's 3 times a year. We get together and really strategize. We're creating plans for their goals, whether it's their relationship or business, anything they need in those 4 quadrants, different elements, because not everybody is married, not everybody has a business, but some have ideas, some want to scale a business. They're all different, and they're different age, different walks of life. So depending on what they are trying to achieve. But we are meeting 3 times a year, and for a few days, and just basically get out of our daily routine, connecting, communicating, supporting each other, having a lot of fun. We go deep. We make sure that the girl is taken care of and she knows what she's doing and she feels good about herself. And I talk to them on the phone one-on-one as much as they need me, because some women are really self-sufficient and they don't need much help. It's mainly business strategy. And some women need more nurturing. Some women are very new to this and they need talk to them every week, and I'm fine with that. I love that.
Yeah, no, that's so amazing. I love how you're there, and it's the support, but it's also the community, and it's the community of the other women, and you guys, like you said, dive deep, and it's also kind of like mapping out, like course mapping, life mapping. So I think that it's amazing for especially the new moms who may find themselves like, now what? Now where do I go? What's the next chapter? What does that look like? So I think that's amazing, for women to go check out. So where can the moms find you? What's your website? Same thing with Facebook or Instagram.
My program you can find on Natalia Kern annual workshop. I can share a link with you.
Perfect. And I'll link it as well in the show notes.
Okay. And I am active on Instagram. The same with Facebook, Natalia Kern.
Perfect. Awesome. Well, Natalia, thank you so much for all this information today. I mean, I've been taking so many notes that it's just like, from the quadrants to, balances of fluid states, coming from a place of gratitude. I think once this goes live, I'm going to listen to it a few times over again, just to go back and listen to all this information, because it really is, I mean, it's amazing. So thank you so much for being here today and for giving.
Really important. I'm happy for your audience, and I can't wait to share with all my girls, because it's really important, that community that you're creating and the knowledge that you're sharing from your experience and the guests that you interview. And I think it's so important. I'm glad it's happening right now, so our daughters will have
that. Yes, 100%. And I think it's so much about creating that community, because it's not like we said, it's not like it used to be. Those tribes aren't there. So now we have to create them, whether it's we're near and we're neighbors, or it's we're far and you have, social media or the internet to connect you. So thank you so much. Yes. So thank you so much for today. And ladies, make sure to follow Natalia on Instagram, on Facebook, and make sure you check out her website as well. Thank you, Natalia.
Thank you so much, sweetie.